Blue Mashpaka. Right now, I want to talk about something that's tremendous. Tremendous for the way that you live. Tremendous for the way that you commute. Tremendous for the way that you use energy and everything surrounding it right now. I want to show you how you can live and drive as far as you want with no gas. Requires no changing of oil or fluids, having transmissions, transfer cases, engines. You will no longer need any of these things. And the power that you would use for it is totally free. You would never have to recharge or have tons of batteries and plug in. You would completely be off grid from it and be sustainable all on your own. These are called e-axles, or electronic driven axles. They bolt onto the differentials and they turn the differentials with the motor and transmission built into this assembly. They have tons of them and they're all coming out now building these motors, which is basically making the pathway for what I'm about to say now. Let's check out a video. So Mashpaka, what I'm basically showing you is a perpetual motion free energy device, and all it is using is a magnet and a wheel at the end, and it's using a 10 kilowatt generator that you can buy really cheap. You can have it sourced out for whatever kilowatts that you need for it to run. This is very, very simple, Mashpaka. All you need is magnets, and this wheel is kind of like weight for it so it continues the momentum. This was considered to be free energy at this point. You can go on Alibaba and buy these for cheap. You can go on eBay and buy these cheap. These motors will do 20, 30 kilowatts, and they're claiming to even go even higher than that, 250, 350, 500 kilowatts on these generators. Whatever you spec out for it to be. You don't even need to have a long shaft. You could just match the magnet wheel onto the end of the shaft and then have a way to start it and stop it. And then you would have free electricity. You know what that means? I'm basically sharing you the way that you could have free energy for all of these e-motored axles, and any vehicle can have this. You will no longer be tethered to a battery. You could only run just one battery. It doesn't even matter, just a 12-volt battery, and use that for accessories for your device, for whatever equipment that you're running, so you could turn it on. It would also act as a capacitor to stabilize the load on peak demands. You don't need to spend $20,000 on a giant battery pack for these electronic cars. These electric cars are faulty. The batteries inside of them explode. There are things that go wrong. The way that I'm sharing right now is you won't need any of these things. All you need is like something like a truck or a car that has these types of axles, where like a banjo type axle where the front comes apart. These types of axles on the front have bolts, and you can take them apart and then just mate the motors up to them. That way you don't have to buy a brand new axle and change all your suspension components. You could keep the same axle that you have in the vehicle and then just buy motors to mount onto the front. They have these types of axles in heavy duty trucks like Ram 5500s and 4500s. So what I'm proposing to do, Mashpaka, is this. Get a truck, gut out the engine, the transmission, the transfer case, and the drive shafts. Then sell them for profit. You can sell these engines for thousands of dollars. Then buy you a bolt-on e-motor for your e-axle. Then go somewhere cheap for a generator. Go to Alibaba or something. Go to eBay. Use this as the power plant for your vehicle. All the money that you just sold for the engine, transmission, and transfer case, and anything else, components that you would no longer need, sell it as a complete turnkey swap, and you would make thousands of dollars. Use that to afford these motors for the axles. You would have true all-wheel drive. And you would have no need for all of these extra batteries to run these electric trucks in cars. Companies are also making it available for cars as well as independent axle. So you would be able to run it a motor on each individual wheel. The next thing I would do is to try and continue to bulletproof the build. I would switch the wheels over to a airless wheel. Why do this? Because you no longer have to deal with punctures. You no longer have to deal with filling up with air or losing air. Something that is not being shared right now about these types of tires is that you could possibly retread these tires. So Mashpaka, now you have a tire that all you have to do is just get the right lug pattern for the rim part, and then a tire tread that you can constantly recap and put new tread on. You would just take the tread off and it would just be the smooth part, and then you would just stretch a new tread over the top of it. Similar to how 18-wheelers, truck drivers do their tires sometimes. Mashpaka, anyone running generators for their homes, their trailers, or for any other needed use, sell these gas or diesel generators that require fuel and start making these. Now you have free electricity. The money that you would make from selling these generators, if you have them already, would pay for the new generator, and it would be completely cut off from the grid. You would have your own supply of power. You can do the same thing with alternators. There are even guides on YouTube where you could change an alternator into a mini energy generator. People can use these for their e-bikes. They don't need a battery anymore. All they would really need is just something small, as like a capacitor, a small battery. And then they could run these generators and power whatever size motor that they have. These mountain bikes are expensive, thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. When you can just go on someplace like Alibaba and just buy one that's already built that can have upwards of a 20 kilowatt motor that already has the frame and everything with it. And it even comes with pedals and stuff. So now technically it's legal to go anywhere with it, off-road, on sidewalks and stuff like that, into trails and parks where normal e-bikes can't go. You have this type of bike now, and you can go anywhere where a normal bicycle can go. With these alternator generators that are small with the same magnetic wheel that would turn and generate power, you would eliminate all these costs for how much it is to buy these ridiculous priced and huge batteries for these bikes, these e-bikes.
This device is able to generate energy in a self-sufficient way thanks to the power of magnetism.
So Mashpaka, that's not the end of it. So you have your home, you have your main vehicle, you have a bike now, all of it running on free energy. What else could there be? That's right, Mashpaka. eVTOLs are flying cars now. eVTOLs are special because this class is considered an ultralight, and under the FAA, this, as long as it weighs under a certain weight, I believe it's 250 something pounds, and is limited to 63 miles per hour, you don't even need a license to even fly this thing. You just need whatever training course to operate it, and then you are able to fly it. These eVTOLs use electric motors with propellers on them. And they are claiming times of about 30 minutes to be able to fly because it is forced to use a heavy battery to keep it in the air. And it's limited by how far it can go because it only has 30 minutes of charge. And they cost over $100,000 for some of these. Why does it cost so much, Moshpaka? You can build this stuff on your own and build it even better. Here is a propeller motor, an electronic motor. This motor has 70 kilowatts of power, and it's only $2,000, and produces 170 kilograms of thrust. Here's an even bigger motor, 100 kilowatt with 230 kilograms of thrust, $3,500. This motor is huge and puts out so much thrust. So what is the cost of these flying eVTOLs? Why are they so expensive, Moshpaka? It's a gimmick. They're taking all of your money. You can't even afford these things, and they don't even sell them currently right now. They're saying that you can't even get one right now until 2027. There's Chinese go-karts with their frames and stuff. You can just break out a welder and just start making your own eVTOL frame. Make it with aluminum or titanium alloy. Get rid of these bars in the front and instead just put a bar like this similar to the top over the head above it and in the front of it. So now if you have a rollover accident, it will not hurt you because this bar will take the impact. Now you can put a canopy on the top because you have eliminated these bars. I would use a polycarbonate based visor or canopy for these because they are shatterproof and you can see through them, and they are very good, similar to what's on a motorcycle helmet. So now you would be able to see, and now you can afford any type of motor. They're not that expensive. Here's a 7 kilowatt motor that produces 24 kilograms of thrust. It is $190. And for the engine, you would just run an electric generator with the same perpetual motion magnet wheel on the end of it that would continue rotating and turning the magnet. Free energy. Then you could realistically fly as long as you want to, as far as you want to, as long as you stay below a 10,000 foot ceiling, because anything above that you would have to have a pressurized cabin. And now it's under 250 pounds. So it's considered an ultralight class aircraft, and you won't need a license. You won't have to be a pilot to fly this. Anybody could fly one as long as you want to, and you can just build your own. I would run a 12-volt motorcycle battery in there just for accessory turn on. You don't need all this extra weight. You should try and save on weight. Try to get as light as weight generator as you can. So Moshpaka, I've given you two ways to have an unlimited driving truck, an unlimited driving bike, an unlimited energy for your home, and now an unlimited flying car. Barak Yahweh. Barak Yahushua. These are the true names of the Most High and the Messiah, the Mashiach. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that this will be shared around, because this is going to change everything. Ahaba'u Shalom.